Good evening, everyone. Oh, there's so much happening right here. Okay. Perfect title for tonight's live. I hope that y'all are well. Let me move y'all a little bit closer. I hope that y'all are well, that you have had a wonderful start to your year. Is this my first live stream of 2024? I think it might be. I think it might be. Excuse my hair, y'all. I am pre-gaming for a ball at the end of the week, and so tomorrow is everything day. So I hope that y'all are well and that you're having a great evening. I am a teensy tiny bit late because technology was being technology, but all is well. Hey, I see Ashley Johnson said, hey, yeah, hey, how you doing? I hope that you are well this evening, that you're having a great week. Tonight's conversation is about the price of perfection. And y'all, perfectionism I almost didn't. I was about to send an email and say, y'all know what, forget about it. Craziness. But perfection is costing us so much. And I know that as women of color, we are, specifically Black women, we are raised to get it right, to be twice as good, to give 110% to every single thing that we pursue. And that pursuit of perfection is costing us a lot. It's costing us our lives. It's costing us our health and well-being. And so tonight I want to talk about it. I want to talk about some of the other things that it's costing us that you may not even be thinking about. And as I was getting ready for tonight's live, the message that came to me, direct download from Spirit, I was like, this is good. So I hope that you have your notebooks ready tonight. For those of you who do not know who I am, or maybe you're watching the replay, someone shared this video with you. I'm Yaya Smith. If you are watching this and you've watched for a long time and you know this is about to be good, I want you to make sure that you hit the share button and share with your friends, your family, whoever you know who may need this message, coworkers, sisters, friends, everybody. And if this is your first time and you're like, who are you? Why should I be listening to you? Well, first of all, thank you for showing up tonight and giving me a little bit of your time. I'm Yaya Smith again. I am a life coach. I've been a life coach for over 10 years now, but officially in feminine success in my company. I have been coaching since 2015. This year will make 9 years. I am a mother. I'm a wife. Oh, yes, wonderful. I love it. Ashley says she's been watching for maybe 2 years, and you joined the master class, the ease experience. Listen, that is the vibes. I'm actually walking a private client through the ease experience right now, and she is like, "Whoo, this is life-changing." So I am Yaya Smith. I'm the founder of Feminine Success, a life coaching and consulting company. I support women who desire to have a successful life in more than one way. So, women who generally have created success in some area, but they're not seeing that translate into other areas of their lives. I help you to reconnect with the real you. A lot of times, the women that I work with have been building a success story based on someone else's narrative, based on someone else's instructions or directions, and they realize that it's not fulfilling. It's not, maybe it's run its course. It's not getting them to where they need to go next, and they're ready to create the life that they were designed for. So, if that is you and you have found yourself here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years now. I've been in this femininity conversation for Black women for quite some time. And long before it was ever a thing on YouTube, I don't remember anybody talking about this when I started this. And even now, the conversation is great, and I love to see it come into the forefront, but it is also surface level. So if you're that woman who is saying, you know what, I do desire to get in touch with my feminine power, but I don't want to have to change my whole wardrobe, or I don't like wearing makeup, or I like to get out in the garden, or I like to pursue my passions. I don't want to have to quit my job and say no to accomplishments in order to be feminine. Then you are in the right place. As we talk a lot about balancing your masculine and feminine power, understanding yourself at a very deep level, and really being your authentic self as a woman, and understanding how to be fully valued as your authentic self, how to be well loved and well supported. All right, so I'm going to get into tonight's conversation. Um, it's the price of perfection. And listen, listen, we have all been there. If you are any kind of woman who either wants to be a great mom, wants to be a great partner, desires to be great in your industry, you have fallen into the clutches of perfectionism at some point. And what often happens is we end up procrastinating. We end up waiting. We end up saying things like, well, I need to talk to XYZ to make sure that this makes sense. When we are afraid to follow our own intuition, when we're afraid to make a mistake, when we're afraid to truly step into the unknown. So, let's talk about some of the things that perfectionism is costing you on your journey to being your best self as a woman. First of all, it's costing you authentic connection. If you are that woman who is saying, I have built a beautiful life and I am in this beautiful life alone, you are that woman who is saying, I am ready to step into my industry. I have built my skills. I have built my knowledge and understanding of my subject matter. And I'm ready to step into my industry, maybe as an entrepreneur, but I don't know. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to move too soon. The things that are ready to express and connect from within you and around you need your authenticity. They will not connect with the fake version of you, the extra polished version of you that has no vulnerabilities, makes no mistakes. Your authentic connections, the authentic connections that you desire in your life, they are not only attracted to the best parts of you, because here's the thing, we're not designed to just be with people so that we can show them our mask, and so that we can see their mask. So often you see women say, or you may have even said, I know I've said it before, as soon as I show people my real self, then they get scarce. I can't find them, or they stop answering, or whatever have you. That's actually a good thing, because your authenticity is supposed to be a filter. When you are always seeking to be a perfect version of yourself, you never authentically connect with others. We are not only supposed to connect with the best parts of each other, but we are designed to be complements to each other's strengths and weaknesses. So if you are always trying to cover your weaknesses or hide those things, you don't let them show in relationships, there's no vulnerability in your relationships, then that pursuit of perfection is going to cost you the people who are coming into your life to help strengthen those weaknesses. It's costing you the people who are coming into your life to fill in the gaps for you. It's costing you those connections. And that's just the truth of the matter. So often I work with women who are saying, I am attracting this same kind of guy, and he only seems to want me for X, whatever X is, fill in the blank. And when we look at how they're showing up, a lot of times what they're leading with is that thing that has been something that they've been validated for in the past, but it wasn't authentically them. It wasn't really who they were. So it's costing you your authentic connections. Ashley says, wow, I was just thinking the other night, I never had space to be myself. And that pursuit of perfection is costing you that. Sometimes the truth is you have to be yourself first in order for the right spaces to appear. You have to be yourself in order to get in alignment. And it doesn't even take that much time for it to happen when you commit, when you decide that you're not going back to wearing the mask, you're not going back to whether it's code switching or, like I said, this modern femininity movement that's all about women only being soft and women only being um delicate and fragile and wearing pink and speaking softly and all of these things that are not authentic femininity. But if you put that mask on, you're going to attract people and places that are attracted to that mask, not the authentic connections that you need in order to fully blossom and bloom as yourself. So, the pursuit of perfection, trying to make yourself a perfect person, is costing you authentic connections. It's also costing you because many times when we believe that we have to be perfect before we can be blessed, whether it's blessed with a relationship, blessed with a business, blessed with more money, blessed with good health, when we believe that we have to be perfect first, we self sabotage the things that show up when we're not who we think we should be to have them, or who we think we need to be to deserve them. So a lot of times, if you are pursuing perfection and you don't feel like you're there yet, the blessing will show up and you'll say, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready for it yet. Oh, well, I remember the last time this happened. And you know what? It's so interesting. The spirit the spirit just downloaded to me this conversation that I remember having a bunch of times as a kid. Like, where does this come from? I remember having this conversation, and maybe you do too. When you made a mistake and you got punished for it, and then you're punished, right? And you're like, okay, I used to get punished from the phone. I'm like, Mom, can I get the phone back? No, you can't get the phone back until you show me that you can do it right. Whatever it is, until you show me you can clean your room right, you're not getting off punishment. And so, interestingly enough, what the spirit just showed me is that's how y'all believe it is in adulthood. That's how you believe the spirit realm operates. You can't have your blessings until you are perfect, until you get it perfect. And so when you know you don't, a lot of times when you've been conditioned and programmed that way, you will punish yourself. You will sabotage yourself because you don't see the perfection that you believe is necessary in order for you to have access to that thing. So, listen, it's costing you authentic connection. So, you got to connect with your authentic self and disconnect, unplug from the pursuit of perfection. Okay. Now, I wrote some notes, but I think I lost them right quick. Y'all, I'm anything but perfect tonight. My goodness, this is so funny. And I wrote them in a light colored marker. I don't know why I closed my notebook, but I do remember. All right. The pursuit of perfection. The next thing is costing you. I found it. I found it. It's costing you divine connection. Your pursuit of perfection is costing you your divine connection. Now, earlier, when I was like, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to flesh this conversation out? Ashley says, God is loud. God been loud since I started thinking about this conversation. Okay, let me tell you. Earlier, as I'm thinking about it, the first thing that came to me was, when you are pursuing perfection, you are leaving no room for God to work. You're leaving no room for God to work at all. There's a scripture, and it's one of my favorite scriptures, where God says, I will perfect all things concerning you. I will perfect all things concerning you. And so if you are the one who is trying to perfect it, where's God going to have room? You are supposed to see God work in your life. And for a lot of you, oh my goodness, I did not mean for this live to get heavy. But y'all know, for those of you who have been around for a while, y'all know when the spirit starts speaking, it starts. But a lot of you, the healing that you're looking for in the relationship to your father is going to be found in you releasing the stronghold perfection has on you, so that you can see your heavenly father show up and provide for you and perfect all things concerning you, especially if your earthly father did not perfect all things concerning you. That healing that you're looking for is going to be found in you releasing the need for things to be perfect before you step out into it, before you believe God. Not just believe in God, but before you believe God, you need things to be perfect first. The healing that you need, the fathering that you need, that inner masculine healing that needs to happen, will be found in that. Will be found in you getting to a place where not only do you believe in God, but you believe God because you know God, and you know you have seen in your imperfections things be perfected for you. But if you're not willing to face your imperfections, if you're not willing to pursue it imperfectly, if you're not willing to go for it anyways, if you're not willing to make a mistake, if you're not willing to show up even when you've never seen rain before, Noah, like, I don't even know what an ark look like, but I'm gonna hammer away anyways. I am a shepherd. I've never been to battle, but I'm gonna get out here on the battlefield anyways. When you are willing to follow the calling, I don't mean doing things that you're not truly qualified for. But here's the thing. On the surface, if we're looking at things from the surface level, like the way we do when we're pursuing perfection, David did not look qualified to fight no daggone Goliath. Okay? He's never been on a battlefield before. He's been out in the pastures with the sheep. He's short. He's the scruffy little brother. Nothing about him said, yes, this one here is the one that can fight a giant. A man of war who has been trained his whole life for this. However, how you look at your qualifications and how your qualifications appear in the divine are completely different. The fact that he had fought bears, there probably wasn't a man on the battlefield who had taken down a bear or a lion before. There are qualities in you that God is ready to perfect that will require you stepping out imperfectly, that will require you showing up imperfectly. And that's just what it is. Vove says, so true. P.S. I'm coming to New Orleans this weekend for the first time. Vove, if you are not coming to New Orleans for the retreat, I almost don't want to hear it. But congratulations on your first trip to New Orleans. I hope that you enjoy yourself, and that the city gives you what you need. It will be very hectic because we are in carnival season. All right, so perfection is costing you your divine connection. It is costing you the space that God is trying to take up in your life. And things will start feeling cramped, small, tight, like, the walls are closing in on me. There's never enough room for me. There's never enough this. Oh, well, why is it almost but doesn't count? Because you're trying to perfect it without giving God room. Okay. That's scripture. I will perfect all things concerning you. Why are you scared? Because it's imperfect. That was the question. That was the question. Okay. The next thing that the pursuit of perfection is costing you is your pleasure. Is your pleasure and your joy. As I was in the notes and in the thought pattern for this, the spirit said, y'all are trading joy for judgment. Y'all are trading joy for judgment. We are trading the joy of learning, the joy of exploration, the joy of discovery, the joy of curiosity for judging ourselves on whether or not it's perfect enough, whether or not it looks right, whether or not it sounds right, whether it got the results you were looking for. Your joy and pleasure is on the outside of perfection. Think about a child. When the scripture says we must come into the kingdom like a child, that's the only real way to connect to spirit, is from a place of curiosity, from a place of vulnerability, from a place of authenticity. Think about children, and when you see children at play, when you see children in pleasure, they don't care because popsicle juice running all down their arm. They don't care that they brand new shirt you just bought them. Listen, I have 4 children, so they don't care that brand new shirt, those brand new shoes are messed up. They don't care that that tree looks like it is 300 feet tall and they about to try to climb it. They are in their joy. They are in their pleasure. And the pursuit of perfection, of not looking silly, of not looking crazy, of not making sense to people, is costing you. It's costing you. And that cost is too much because you're judging yourself, because you're judging how other people may think about what you're doing. And nobody else has done this before. I'll be the only one. I might look crazy. I might sound crazy. I definitely was in that boat for probably a good year and a half before I started Feminine Success, because no one else was having this conversation. No one else was talking about femininity for Black women. And several people told me, Black women don't want to hear that. Girl, them women don't want to hear that from you. They don't care about being feminine. They don't want all of the things. So I sat in judgment. Oh my goodness, I'm going to sound crazy. Oh my goodness, people are going to think that I hate women or whatever have you. And now I have people in my inbox saying, "Oh my goodness, you're a pioneer in this conversation. Oh my goodness, how have you?" Now I'm a pioneer. But had I sat in judgment of myself, none of this would have ever made it out. And the pleasure and the joy that I've been able to experience from this work, from the benefits of doing this work, the pleasure of time freedom, of being able to say, you know what, I need a nap in the middle of the day, and being able to take a nap, of being able to say, hey, let's go check out the beach. Let's go see what that looks like. Let's travel as a family. Let's get private teachers for the kids. Let's make sure that they have what they need. Let's make sure that I have what I need. Y'all, for those of you who follow me, y'all know how I get away without these kids and this husband. that would not have been a reality for me, that level of pleasure and joy, had I been living in judgment. I still have family members to this day who feel like, you are a mom, you don't need to be taking breaks. That is none of my business. That's their judgment, not mine. And so your pursuit of perfection, of looking perfect and sounding perfect, is costing you your real joy and your real pleasure. All right. And then the last piece, I was saying at the top of this live, as I was thinking about this, a message came down that just blew my socks off. Okay. It just blew my socks off. And that is, it's costing you time. Your pursuit of perfection is costing you time. And here's how. I'll say the message exactly how Spirit said it to me, and then I'll go back and explain. Okay. Your pursuit of perfection is costing you time because there are blessings that are meant for you that you have not made the mistakes to be ready for yet. There are blessings that are meant for you that you haven't made the mistakes to be ready for yet. I know, y'all. I know it. I was like, oh, what? Oh my goodness. Because how many of us are out here wasting time because we're too afraid to make a mistake? We are waiting and procrastinating and putting things off. And oh my goodness, it needs to be perfect. Oh my goodness, I need this to be in place. I need that to be in place. There are mistakes that are destined for you that will move you forward on your path much quicker than getting it perfect ever will. There are lessons that you need before you can access certain blessings, and you will learn those lessons quicker by going ahead making those mistakes. You will learn those lessons much quicker by stepping into the calling and making the necessary mistakes, not by learning everything that you think you need to know. Because there's a difference between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge is what you're getting just by sitting, learning, and having someone talk to you. Wisdom you gain through observing, seeing it actually happen, or being in it as it actually happens. Understanding you get from doing it and engaging with it. You will not understand until you make the mistake. And there are blessings that are delayed on your journey right now because you will not make the mistakes that you need to make to get to them. And that's costing you time. The pursuit of perfection is costing you time. Absolutely. Your pursuit of perfection is costing you time. It is. Take chances, make mistakes. I was a fan of the Magic School Bus and became even more of a fan of the Magic School Bus once I became a mother. But take chances, make mistakes. Know that God will perfect all things concerning you. If you understand that, then there is no problem with making a mistake. Look at how many mistakes, even if you just use the Bible. And that is such a limited view of all that God has done. Even if you only use the Bible, look at how many mistakes God used to make masterpieces. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What mistakes are you avoiding? What opportunities are you avoiding? In what ways are you self-sabotaging because you don't feel like you are perfect yet? You don't feel like you are deserving yet. Even if consciously you tell yourself, I deserve, I deserve, I deserve. You're not ready yet. I think about when that message came to me, there are mistakes, there are blessings that are delayed on your path because there are mistakes that you haven't made yet. I think about my relationship with my husband. And prior to my husband, I was the girl who I, every relationship that I was in prior to my husband, I assumed it was going to be my husband. I was like, I'm going to treat this as if this is marriage. Every relationship. That's why I was able to give y'all husband treatment versus husband privileges, because I've been there and I know. For those of you who've seen that video back in the day, Periscope days, that was one of the most popular videos I've ever done because I've been there. So I think about that situation though, and realize that my husband used to say, I don't know how you not deal with me, but like how you do it, because he's a great man, but he's not an easy husband. I'm a great woman, I'm not the easiest wife. And what I mean by that, he was an only child, so he has a lot of only child tendencies. And it's like, oh my goodness, some of it is annoying. But he would say that, and I would say, because I have seen so many sides of men, and I have had to restructure myself because of that. So that version of me that showed up as if I was everybody's wife, she had to go away in order for me to be ready to be a wife, truthfully. And I won't even get deep into that conversation tonight, but those were mistakes that I needed to make, and I needed to make them early to be ready for the blessing of my marriage. And I know a lot of women who are afraid to date, who are afraid, oh my goodness, well, what if this isn't the guy? And what if this isn't the. Get out and enjoy yourself. Get out and have fun. Get out and connect. Make those authentic connections. Connect to your joy and your pleasure, because that will speed up your time. There are experiences that will move you closer to the blessings that you're seeking. There's no way I would have left my husband so long ago. Not even that he's a bad guy. I just wouldn't have had the patience to deal with anything at all had I not experienced actual relationships prior to him. Some of those relationships at the time I felt like were mistakes, but they prepared me. They prepared me to be compassionate. They prepared me to be patient. They prepared me to also know what love actually looked like. Some things were fooling me. And so some of the mistakes that you're avoiding are actually what is delaying your blessings. Now, am I saying get out there and date everybody every time Dick and Harry in town? No, I'm not. But it could be that you are procrastinating, or you're not wanting to start that business because you're afraid you're going to make a mistake. You're not wanting to write that book because you're afraid you're going to make a mistake. You're not wanting to date because you're afraid you're going to make a mistake. The blessing is on the other side of releasing that fear, because mistakes will happen. And perfectionism is just how you are trying to control everything. Generally, what happens is something will go down that will put you in a position where you'll see that you are safe to let go of control. Even if it comes with tears, you're safe. As I was closing out these notes, I asked into spirit, like, what is it that women need to do in order to release the pursuit of perfection? And one of the first things that popped into my understanding was disconnect from gossip. If you want to unplug from the pursuit of perfection, disconnect from gossip. Gossip is one of the ways that we keep ourselves in a cycle of judging others most of all. But when you judge others, you're judging yourself. And when you are in judgment, you are not curious. You are not willing to truly be authentic, because when you are judged, you are also afraid of being judged. Disconnect from the toxic cycle of gossip. Because another thing about gossip, when you are that critical about others, what they're doing, how they're looking, how they're speaking, you will naturally criticize yourself that same way. And so when you're ready to do something, say something, show up, you're going to also be critical. Even if you're not the gossip, even if you're the person who is like listening, like, okay, girl, okay, all right. Because then if those critical voices are in your ear, and I don't mean constructively critical, I mean folks who are just critical of everything. When those critical voices are in your ear, even if it's about others, then when you go to pursue something, when you decide that you want to make a change, or you want to make an investment, or you want to date someone, or you want whatever it is, those critical voices, you're in your ear having those same conversations. You're imagining others having those same conversations about you that you have heard them have about others. And so you second guess yourself, you doubt yourself, and you don't do the things. So I wanted to share this. I had to share this, actually. Y'all know I haven't been going live as regularly as I used to. By far, I've been focusing my effort and intentions on working with my private clients, getting the retreat squared away. For those of you who don't know, we are hosting the Feminine Success Retreat here in New Orleans at the end of February, February 29th through March 3rd. So we will be bringing in Women's History Month together, and closing out Black History Month together. And it's a leap day, y'all. Super rare. So that will be February 29th through March 3rd. The theme is restore. We'll be restoring your sense of play. We'll be restoring your authenticity, your authentic connection. We'll be restoring your sense of safety, in connection with men. We have a beautiful committee of gentlemen who will be supporting us with the retreat. They won't be kind of in our private spaces, but they will be very hands-on with making sure that the women are safe, with making sure that you feel supported, that you don't have to carry your bags, all of that. So that is a 4-day experience, all about wellness, all about healing, all about play and restoration. And it's here in New Orleans. So if that is something that you are interested in attending, we have 2 seats remaining. I will put the link for that in the description of this video once I post it to YouTube. And yeah, if you're not coming to the retreat, but you are interested in working with me one-on-one, I have some spots for VIP days, and I also have 2 remaining coaching spots for Q1 and Q2. So through the first half of the year. So yeah, I'll also put that in the description of this video on YouTube. All right. So, are there any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to share on the floor before I pop off? I'll keep my eyes over here on the comments. Let's see. Ashley's, or that was Vove. Vove said, lately I've been in a space of submitting my imperfections to God. You've got to, you got to submit those imperfections. And you also have to take action in spite of the imperfections. Um, Submit yourself, not only the imperfections, but submit your actions, submit to following the guidance that you get. A lot of times we find ourselves in spaces in life where we are stuck, or where we are not necessarily stuck, but not truly evolving and progressing at the pace and in the ways that we know we can. And it's because you didn't follow the first instructions. Basically, what were the actual instructions? And sometimes it is that one thing that's like, you did it how you wanted to do it because you didn't want to look crazy, but doing it this way would have netted the results that you were looking for. So go back and do it the way that I told you. I see it with my clients all the time. I do. I see it with myself all the time, honestly. Um, and then I go back and do what I was told to do. So, so last year, um, I was asked about a retreat and I was like, oh, I haven't done a retreat since the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. And I was asked about it again and again. And then I told my clients, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And immediately the spirit was like, no, you are not. No, you're not. And I had to go back and be like, y'all, we're going to have to push the retreat to 2024 because it's just something is just not right. I started having dreams and it was like, no, I said no, it's no. So now seeing how the retreat is coming together, I understand why. But yeah, I actually just got some gift bags. A friend sent some great gift bags for the retreat attendees with beautiful spiritual products and some incense and some gorgeous things. So I'm excited about that. Ashley says this was very much needed for me. What if I feel I don't know how to be me? It's been a long time. So this is a great question, Ashley. What if I feel like I don't know how to be myself because it's been so long? I obviously recommend getting connected with a community outside of yourself. This could be a therapist, this could be a coach, this could be a mentor, someone who can see you, first of all, see you and help you see you, and then guide you back to being yourself. When we have been validated for being a fake or a lesser version of ourselves for so long, that sense of validation is a natural human need. So we can become trapped in that pattern. And because we've been rewarded for it, we don't necessarily want to change it. And it can feel scary to change it. So I would say for sure, connect with the community. I like to, for things like this, I like to connect with a community of people that is qualified but doesn't know me. The reason for that is because the people who know me or know you are often used to and they benefit from the masks that you wear. And so it's difficult to get an accurate read on who you are authentically because you start trying different things and they respond to it in a way that makes you question yourself. So I would say to connect and get around people who don't necessarily know you well, but who know how to help you, who know how to support you well, so that they can hear you, see you, and see through a lot of the things that you may have been wearing for so long that you don't even know that they're masks anymore. All right. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm just naturally a giver. I'm just naturally a people pleaser. When really it's a childhood wound that is causing you to respond in this way. And what you really want to do is tell people, no, get out of your face. But if you do that, they're not going to validate you. They're going to say all kinds of things about you. The person who is maybe a coach or a mentor who is helping you to set new boundaries, who is helping you to get clear on who you are, they're going to help you understand how to see yourself outside of the eyes of people who benefit from those masks, including your own. Outside of getting support, I would say one of the best ways to get to know your authentic self is to try new things. Try things that you're not good at, that you have never done before, or and that you maybe have thought about, like, oh, if one day, maybe, if I ever, those kinds of things, those things that you tell yourself, if I could, I would. Go do some of those things and observe yourself in those settings. You might not like everything that you see about the real you, but that's okay. You may learn that you're afraid of some things, or that you act out in fear in some ways that you weren't aware of because you never tried those things. But that's okay. The goal isn't to find a version of yourself that you like. The goal is to find a version of yourself that's real, and to grow in your love and acceptance of the real you, because that's the version of you who is going to live the life that you were really designed for. I got the message years ago, your blessings don't even recognize you because you're being fake. And I was like, oh. Oh, and as a Scorpio, I pride myself on authenticity, okay? So so I was like, what? I'm being fake. Wow. And it's not always that you're being fake. Sometimes you're being an outdated version of yourself. Sometimes your spirit has outgrown the version of yourself that you were told to be, or that you were shown to be, or that you survived by being. You have outgrown that version, and it's time for you to update. Ashley says, really? Wow, I thought I'd have to like everything. No, no, no. I do have a list of a bunch of things I want to try. I love that. I love that. No, you do not have to like everything about yourself. Listen, I got plenty of things. Well, I won't say plenty because I really don't, but I got some things about myself that I don't like now. I definitely do. My goodness, I can yell your head off now. I can. And I definitely don't yell much, but when I get there, listen, what they say about Scorpios, that tongue, that bite is real. So that's why I try to stay in my authentic self, because I attract people who help me to remain in the lighter, higher versions of myself. Um, Being my authentic self helped me realize I really don't like conflict in that way. Am I good at it? Sure. Am I able to confront things head on? Absolutely. But I really don't like conflict. So there are certain stores I won't shop at. There are certain places I will not go because I don't like the people attitudes there. And I don't want to be around that energy. Before, though, I would tell myself, oh, you're not too good for this. Don't act like you're too good for XYZ. You don't want to make people think you think you're too. Listen, I don't even care what people think now. All right. So Arnikia says, where is the retreat info? So if you're on my email list, Arnikia, it is, you've received a zillion emails. about the retreat with the link in there. If not, you can find it in the link for the retreat in the link in bio on my Instagram. I will also put it in the description of these videos once I post them to YouTube, and in the comments of the video on Facebook. But you can click the link there and find it. There are 2 seats remaining to the retreat, 2 standard tickets remaining. There is a 2-pay option for those of you who need it. And yeah, the retreat plus coaching, which was a package that was available for a VIP ticket to the retreat plus 2 hours of private coaching, that one sold out the fastest, and then the VIP seat sold out. So there are 2 standard seats remaining. You still get access to everything that you that comes with the retreat, all of our workshops, except for VIP workshop. And what else? And then there are some midnight coaching sessions that happen that are just VIP sessions, but you get all the coaching sessions daytime. You get the welcome dinner, you get the closing toast. We have some classes, movement classes, body classes, reconnecting with your body. You get a beautiful gift bag on top of the gift bags that were dropped off today, which was completely unplanned. But a wonderful friend, spiritual advisor, was like, here, I want to make sure that I contribute something, and she made some gift bags for y'all. So that all is in the link in bio on IG, or you'll find it in the description of this video once it's posted. All right. All right. Ashley says, outgrowing myself has been so hard and I'm sad every day. And that's real. That is real. And that is a part of connecting with yourself, is recognizing all of the emotions and making room for all of the emotions that come with it. I remember you saying at the top of this live, Ashley, that you felt like there was not space for you to be yourself. As you face those emotions head on, as you deal with the discomfort and all of the uncomfortable feelings that come with taking a mask off, with seeing the real self that's under there, you're going to make more room for yourself. And here's why. When you wear a mask, if you think about, I'm from New Orleans, so gold teeth is a big part of our culture, or was a big part of our culture when I was growing up. Everybody had gold teeth, okay? Under those gold teeth, my dad had permanent gold teeth. It wasn't the grills that these kids wear today. When he got those teeth taken off to have his smile repaired, the teeth underneath were decayed, they had been worn away, just all kinds of things were going on, okay? All kinds of things. It smelled bad, looked bad, all of that. If you have been wearing a mask, if you're 30 years old, if you're 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, one of my clients coming to the retreat will be turning 60 that weekend. If you are realizing after decades that you have been wearing a mask, then the real you has not been being nurtured, cared for, maintained, protected, cleaned, whatever it is underneath that mask. So when you first take that mask off, some smells gonna come out, some tears gonna come out, some looks gonna come out, and this is the side of femininity that they ain't telling y'all about on YouTube. When you have been living and operating in your masculine for so long, not to say that there's anything wrong with your masculine, but you do need that balance, and you have never seen your authentic feminine side, you have never seen your real self, nobody talks about what that transition is going to look like. That it's not going to be butterflies and rainbows and pink florals and mimosas. That might be the decor, should you choose to make that the decoration, but that's not going to be the essence of that transformation. Okay. And sometimes that sadness does come. And this is why, Ashley, and others who may be feeling this and have this experience, this is why having support is so important. It's so important for you to know that you are not alone, that you have community, that there are other women who are experiencing these things and they're coming out on the other side of it. They're not just in it, talking about it, feeling bad about it and throwing a pity party. They're coming out, not to say that's what you're doing, but they're coming out on the other side of these emotions stronger, brighter, bigger. But what can happen when you're walking through it unguided and you're going through it alone is you don't know that what you're experiencing is a part of the process. And if you don't realize that you're experiencing a part of the process can drown you. I know they say trust the process. I don't trust the process if you don't even know that you're in a process. Don't trust it, because the emotions that come with that process can drown you. They can take you out. They can take you under if you don't recognize that you're in a process and you think, oh, I'm just depressed. Oh, I'm just falling apart. My life is just falling apart. What is this? Trust the creator. Trust people who have been through the process to help you get through the process. Yes, you can be strong and resilient and all of that, which is wonderful. But a part of the problem amongst us as women, specifically Black women, is that we lean so heavily on resilience because that's what life kind of can keep throwing at you at times. You lean so heavily into resilience that you don't realize the value of support, of not having to bounce to rock bottom to come back up every time. So valuable. So valuable. My life has changed completely since I have prioritized. I've made it, it's not a nice to have, it is a necessity to have people in my corner that I can call and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. Can you help me? Have you gone through this? What's going on? What are your thoughts? Give me some perspective. My life has changed because I don't always have to start over from square one every time I'm going through a transition in life, which is very valuable for me because, again, Scorpio vibes over here, quadruple Scorpio vibes over here. I go through transformation like it ain't nobody's business. I am constantly being going through death and rebirth cycles. Seriously. Vove says it is sad some days, especially when you don't have adequate community to support the change. Having a tribe with the capacity for your growth is needed. That's very true. I talked to a client on yesterday about this very thing, who was saying that her life has changed, her career, her business has evolved and expanded, and her personal life felt like it was falling apart when her business expanded. And the truth is, your personal life is not always equipped. The people in your personal life, the people in your relationships are not always equipped to support the new levels of you. That doesn't mean that you need to get rid of those people, but it does mean that you need to acquire more qualified support around you. Get more community around you. Their capacity is a bottle cap, and you trying to pour the whole bottle of water of you inside of that bottle cap, and you're wondering why it's spilling all over the place and things seem like they're falling apart because you need better support. You are good support. Why don't you have good support? A lot of times it's because we're not prioritizing good support for ourselves. We're prioritizing being good community to others, but we're not prioritizing having good community for ourselves. Prioritizing means it does not get put on the back burner. It's not waiting for years and years and years for you to step up and say yes to it. It is a priority. Nothing else comes before it. Community is available. And I see so many women say, I don't have community. I don't have support. I don't have community. I don't have support. If you are a woman who is doing things for you, you are doing for yourself, you're showing up for yourself, you are earning the way that you need to earn, and you do not have community and support, that's a choice. That's a choice. And the question to ask yourself is, why am I making the choice to be unsupported? Because if I can afford a bag, I can afford a coach. If I can afford a trip, I can afford a therapist. If I don't have that support, but I do have those things, I'm making a choice there. So there's that. Vo says, visually, I see it as a caterpillar growing into a butterfly. The result is a butterfly, but the process isn't. Is beautiful, but the process isn't. You're absolutely right, because that caterpillar has to fall completely apart and turn into mush before it becomes a butterfly. Now think about going to community. If that caterpillar goes into its cocoon, it's falling apart. Now imagine the cocoon is clear and all his other caterpillar friends can see what's going on in there. And they see their friend falling apart. They see their family member, their brother in there just falling apart. Ugly process. And they're like, oh my God, we got to break the cocoon and save him. They don't understand what's going on because they've never been through it. And while they may have the best intentions, they don't have the equipment or the capacity to properly support that situation. And even the best intentions can kill you. Okay? Don't die in the process now. Indeed, yes, thank God for keeping you, for sure, for sure, for sure. Thank God for keeping you, for sure. For sure. And in that, in thanking God for keeping you, make sure that you are keeping God as well, that you are keeping the promise that you made, that you're keeping the contract that you made, because that is your duty. All right. So with that, y'all have asked some great questions. I've had a wonderful time here with y'all tonight. I hope that this has edified your spirit and has ignited something within you that supports you in showing up truly for yourself, showing up for your life, showing up for what is designed and made for you. With that, I'm going to say good night. Peace, y'all. Share it if you found it valuable. Have a great evening.